Carl manages to talk to Christine over the phone. She's been trying to find his sire, Angelique, and it's evident that she's very, very distressed. Their phone call ends with a sulky happy birthday from each of them. And Yanis performs a ritual where he binds the ghost of Nandrazal's father to the bottom of the river, removing his otherworldly influence from his haven. Matilda has been hard at work in both the vampire and mortal worlds, hiring university students as interns for her legal practice and running for representative of the Anarch. Squid's campaign slogan, "All is Well's, vote for Matilda," will be the motto for her run for office. Nandrazal has a chat with Ruby and finds out that she's distanced herself from the Children of Summer because she felt guilty of neglecting Mitchell and her other friends. Nan suggests that Mitchell show up at the next festival as an observer, and we'll see how it goes. The Coterie discuss their concerns over the unresolved diablerie of Jonathan Fowler, and Carl and Nan suggest taking the information they have in Roger Smith's possible involvement to Teach. Teach is wary of accusing the Anarch's leader of diablerie, especially if that means involving the librarian. He tells Nan and Carl to meet him the following night after he gives it more thought. Evelina lies to Yanis when he finds her naked in her room. Zane is with her and is made aware that they've been having a relationship. Yanis is incensed at the fact that he was lied to and tells her he'll deal with her punishment later. As the night draws to a close, Matilda receives a call from Audrey, Squid's girlfriend. Mitchell's sire has been murdered and they had to stake Mitchell, who was in a frenzy.
Good evening and welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of Blood on the Severn, Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Bristol, England in the year 2017. With me tonight,
Bex playing Nandazal of the Ministry.
Peter playing Janusz Kroll of Clan Chimitsu.
Josh playing Carl Frédéric Saint-Jacques de Taureau of Clan Toreador.
And Alice playing Matilda Wells of Clan Venture.
and as you heard from Hubert's recap, last session ended with one of those infamous 11th hour calls to Matilda. Audrey, an Autarkis friend of hers and girlfriend of the lovable Squid, called her to say that Mitchell's sire had been killed. And Mitchell had found his severed head and had gone into a rampage. So Squid and Audrey had to restrain him and stake him, for he wouldn't relent. He wouldn't calm down. So let's start with that, Matilda.
Right. What do I know about Mitchell's sire, just before I jump in?
You know that he came to the city not long ago, within the last year. He is sort of he's sort of well known amongst the Anarchs because of his sire's reputation and how his sire used to hang out at points with Teach. But I mean, you have met him perhaps once. Mitchell he had a very good relationship with his sire, as in they were more like bros. But he was always, this is not the ideal kindred sire unicorn, right?
Yeah.
They got along well, but he wasn't around. Like with many Anarchs, people are left to their own devices. They are taught the basics and then left to grow and develop on their own. So, of course, that means that very little happens in the way of, getting in each other's nerves or if you follow Camarilla practices, being under someone's thumb. You thought he was a solid bloke. He was not like Mitchell, that is, very, an extrovert that is very spontaneous and stuff. He looked more like a very measured man, but with a good sense of humor. Like, he would be sitting down, listening to stories, and then he would chuckle. He would tell something, and then he would just go back to being his usual self. He was not by any means the sulky or the always angry Bruya. He was just very, very serious most of the time.
Cool. Right. So Matilda would get in her car and drive to Audrey's flat. Is that where they were? Or no, Mitchell's flat.
Mitchell's flat, yeah.
Yeah, I'll drive to Mitchell's flat.
By the time you get there, Murray is outside with Ruby. And Ruby is very distressed.
Okay. Right. I'll go up to her and be like, have you been up there?
They're not letting me see him. I'm telling them that if I'm the one taking the stakeout, he will not attack me. He's probably calmed down already. And Murray was like, oh, I've told you, it's too dangerous. I mean, he didn't take it well from what I heard. Like, would you take well that? No, I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't mean to sound patronizing. No one has ever seen Mitchell like that.
Did he
I
hurt
have.
anyone?
Squid. But it's because he tried to restrain him on his own. And you know him. He tried to be gentle. He didn't want to hurt Mitchell. So of course, Mitchell just tossed him away and broke a few bones. But he's all right now.
Okay. I actually think, Ruby, you should come up as well.
Do you think it's a good idea? Says Murray.
I mean, I don't want Ruby taking the stake out, but I think it might help to have her in the room when he comes to. Just to chat to him, calm him down.
Agreed. Let's go in.
Okay.
You go in and you see Audrey sat in the living room, very still, just making sure that nothing is all right. And Squid is sat in a couch nearby. And of course, when you show up, he gets up from the couch and goes straight to Ruby. And tries as best as he can. He tries to console her, but you can see that he's probably a lot more distressed than she is.
Okay. Right. So Matilda will just sort of stand up straight, take it all in, and just say, Ruby, do you just want to stand beside me? Squid, I know you've been through a bit. Do you want to be in here, or would you rather go?
Are you gonna remove the stake?
Yeah.
And Audrey gives you like a sideways glance, and she says, I'll be here if you need me, unless you want to be on your own.
No, it's fine. I mean, perhaps you could get behind him in case he tries to, I don't know.
No, it's okay.
Attack. Yeah. Okay.
And Murray just walks around and says, like, I don't think he's gonna get away from a Banu Hakim. Am I right, Audrey? It's like, I told you. Okay. She gives her a look, but that is it.
Question, is the decapitated head anywhere in the room?
No, you don't see it.
Okay, good. All right. As long as it's not in view.
No.
That's fine. I don't want him waking up and being like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. Fine. I'll give Ruby, I'll hold her hand and give her hand a squeeze and just say, are you okay to do this?
Yes. I can do this.
Okay. Yeah,
And
I know you can.
at the beginning, she struggles a bit because, again, she doesn't want to hurt him.
Yeah.
But the stake is firmly in.
Okay.
She manages to take it out. And then she bites her own wrist and gives him some of her blood. Which is okay because, they do that a lot to each other, and then they break it off and then they do it again.
That's fine. I'm gonna, depending on what Mitchell's reaction is and when he comes to, I'll use Daunt if he looks like he's immediately going to be violent. But if not, I'll just let them. I'll let Ruby start it.
Okay.
Whatever she wants to say.
So, when the blood trickles down Mitchell's throat, the first movement he has is with his hands, and he brings them up to hold on to Ruby's arm, and then he drinks, and Ruby has to contain herself a bit, and then once he opens his eyes, she's there. And she says, "It's all right, my love. It's all right, sweetie." And she takes her arm off, licks the wound. "How are you feeling?" And as if in a haze that has been just cleared by that question, he seems to suddenly realize where he is, who is around him, but also what has happened.
Yeah.
And you see him for a long moment. He takes pause, and even though he's dead and he doesn't need to, he breathes in.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna fix him with a very steely gaze.
You see that he's fighting the beast. He's succeeding at the moment. But you see, out of the corner of your eye, you see Audrey's hand go into her purse that is right next to her where she sat in the chair in the living room by her side.
Yeah.
A very subtle move, but her eyes are fixated on him. Ruby just, when he, after labored breathing, seems to have a little bit of a hold on himself. Ruby approaches him, gets even closer, puts a hand on his shoulder, and says, "I'm really sorry, babe." And that's when emotions go out. He was keeping everything in to sort of to deny the beast.
Yeah.
And now that has happened, he just loses it and he just holds on to her strongly. And he sobs angrily. But you know you're safe for now.
Okay. I'll let him just go through that for as long as it takes for him to sort of compose himself again. And then when the moment feels right, I'll go up to them and just say, well, actually, I'll go up to say to him, "Can I leave you with her? Are you going to be sensible?"
Who could have done that shit?
I don't know, Mitchell.
Have you seen it?
No.
And
Where is it?
Squid from the back says, I put it away because it was making you upset.
Good idea.
And he turns and sees Squid. And then he sees Squid's clothes a bit torn. He says, "Did I do that to you, bro?" "Yeah, but it's okay. It was only a little." "Come here, mate." And he gives him a hug. And Murray draws in and gives them a hug. And, and he needs a lot of support. And they're very tactile, both Ruby and him. So they have a little bit of a group hug. And Squid says, what do I do with it? Do I give it to Matilda?
Just leave it with me. Show me where it is.
Mitchell doesn't seem too happy with that, but Ruby just cups his chin on her hand and looks him straight in the eye, and then he just sort of closes his, and she says, "Yes, it's fine." Audrey and Squid take you to one of the rooms in the back. Squid made an effort and put it inside a box and with some plastic.
To the box. Right. I was going to say to Squid, are you okay? Did he? I mean, it's just superficial, but you're all right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's strong, but us Nosferatu were also strong.
Yeah, you are. You're very strong. If Mitchell asks, I'll keep. I don't want it in his flat, really. I don't want him coming across it, so I'll take it. But I don't imagine he'll want it back. But if he does ask, then whatever he's happy with.
I was thinking of going tomorrow out, or to see tonight if anyone has found the body, and if not, tomorrow to maybe give it a burial. I don't know what Mitchell believes in. I don't know what his side believed in.
I think a burial would be nice, like a wake or a memorial. Do you?
Audrey,
how did he get?
Sorry.
How did he get it? Was it left in his flat?
Squid seems a little distressed about that, and Audrey puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Go make the arrangements. Try to find the body so we can give it a burial, babe." Yes, love. And then he gives her like a very shy kiss on the cheek, because you're around, and he walks off. And Audrey is the one that says, he was waiting for Mitchell right there in the table that is in front of the door. So when we met and we came here, because we were going to hang out and have a chat with Mitchell about, Frankie's presentation, it was right there. And, well, you can see...
Yeah.
No signs of a breaking, though.
No signs.
Whomever did that was good.
If you're going to hang around here, can you ask anyone in the building if they saw someone coming in? Maybe someone saw someone.
Well, the thing is that I shouldn't be getting involved in this, I mean, I can, and don't get me wrong, I love you guys, but still, this is Anarch territory, and I don't want anyone.
It's fine. It's okay.
Now, if this is something that, because I mean, maybe Felicity, she's the representative. She has to deal with this somehow. If she has someone looking after this, then I can help that people. I can help them.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to let her know. If she doesn't already. It's fine. You don't need to do anything, I understand. If you could just keep an eye on Squid. He looks a bit shaky.
Sure.
I know you will.
Can you make I'm gonna say intelligence plus investigation check, please?
Yes, I can.
Because this is... Yeah, I think that's the right combo.
It's fine.
Are you gonna rouse the blood? Do a blood search? Are you gonna... willpower.
I'll spend willpower if I need to.
Okay.
Actually, I probably will because my intelligence and my investigation is very poor.
Well, remember.
Can I rouse the blood? How would I do that?
Oh yeah. So remember that since the release of the V5 compendium, the tables for blood surge has changed. So basically, add 1 die to the bonus. So you would gain 2 bonus dice, but then you would have to do a rouse check. And,
okay, all right.
And also add 1 to all bane severities, which is the part I like the most.
Oh, fun. Okay.
So
Sorry, Mo.
intelligence plus investigation, add 2 dice as a modifier.
Okay, all right. Apologies, it's going very slowly.
Yes, we have had some issues with Roll20. I know I have. But I think it's the interface.
It's
I
not
think
giving
on
me
their
the
end.
option to. Oh, actually, no, sorry, it is. Yeah, my bad. Right, okay.
Investigation with intelligence
Yep.
and 2 dice.
Well, I think it's just rolled. What did it say?
It's coming, I guess. There it is. You have absolutely 1 success.
Cool.
So
cool.
that's
We
the bad
love it.
news. That's the bad news. The good news is you have 3 non-hunger dice that you can reroll with your willpower check.
Yeah, go
with
on
your
then.
willpower. Okay, do a WP reroll. Willpower reroll.
Okay,
3
thank
dice.
you. And then I have to rouse the blood, is that right?
And then you have to do a rouse check to see if you go to hunger. Oh,
That's
wow.
all right. That's worth
That
it.
was one hell of a willpower point. Those 3 dice that you rerolled came up with successes for a total of 4 successes
Wonderful.
on your investigation, intelligence plus
And I
investigation.
succeed on the
And
rouse
you don't
check,
go
so I'm
hungry.
fine.
Very well.
Wonderful.
There is something really disturbing. Other than the fact that it's a severed head that is rotten, or that the skin has started to rot. He was not that old that it turned into, dust or whatever, and it's not just bone. But he was definitely not young. Like the skin has proper rotten.
Right. Does that give me cause to believe that this happened a while ago then?
No, you know that when a kindred dies, their body ages all the time that it never aged while they were kindred.
Oh, okay.
So if you kill a
Fair enough.
neonate or a fledgling, they will barely age, maybe a few years at most. But when you kill an ancilla, or especially an elder, the very, very old leave nothing but dust behind.
Okay. All right.
The thing that you find very disturbing is that this head has the same markings upwards from the eyes, as if something had put their fingers in the eyes and pulled upwards with inhuman strength.
Yeah.
And the jagged cut from the neck at an angle is the well, I'm not going to say exact, but if the flesh wasn't this rotten, you would be certain that he's on point with how Gareth Davis was decapitated 5 years ago.
Right. Okay. I'll put the lid back on the box. I'll go back into the room with Ruby and Mitchell and just check on them. And then tell Ruby, just whisper to her. I think you had something you were doing with Janusz and Nanj tonight, but I'll tell them that you can't make it.
Thank you.
That's fine. And I'll look at Mitchell and just be like,
Thumbs down from the Children of Summer on screen for those of you listening on the podcast.
guys. I'll look at Mitchell.
They're
and be
having
like,
a Children of Bummer right now.
I'll put a hand on Mitchell's shoulder and look him in the eye and just say, We'll figure this out. Okay.
I don't know who to go to. I don't know what to do, Matilda.
Well, this isn't the first time this has happened, is it? So,
What do you mean?
no, it's
And
nothing.
Murray goes like, yeah, what the hell? What do you mean?
Do you remember when Gareth Davis died?
And the faces of all three of them, like their eyes go wide. And Murray is the only one that finds any sort of words. And he's like, you mean to tell me it's the same person?
I don't know. It looks very similar. I don't know. So please don't spread it anywhere. I'm telling you this because I trust you. But I'm also telling you this because I want you to know that because it's not the first time that something like this has happened, there's more of a chance that something can be done because perhaps there's now a pattern.
Very well.
Okay?
Mitchell.
But don't worry about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
you see Mitchell again struggling to rein in the beast. He says like, I need to go out for a walk.
Okay. Well, why don't you go down past the river?
I'll take him.
Take him past the river.
Yeah, Ruby says I'll take him, but first we need to change your shirt, love.
Yeah, do that.
And you take the box with you, I assume?
Yes, I will take the box with me, and then
Yeah.
go
And
to HQ.
and as per the usual, when these kind of things happen, you walk with the box, and the people that are on the street that pass you by, it is ever present in your mind how oblivious they are to the horrors that lay, in that box. How much ignorance is bliss, and how sometimes you miss it. But with the severed head of Mitchell's sire, you proceed to your car. And I assume you're heading towards the...
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably send Nanja a text and ask her where she is.
Okay, so that is a...
Actually, can we do that? Do we have burners? Is that all right?
You do know that Nanch has one. You do know that the only faction that has banned the use of any technological devices is the Camarilla.
Oh.
And it has put forth to the other factions, try to impress on them the importance of doing this. So for the Autarkis and the Anarchs is mostly not encouraged. It's encouraged not to be used. So Anarchs, no one tells Anarchs what to do. But since the rumor is keep it on the down low, don't get too cocky, it might be a thing. So Anarchs are the ones using technology the most, and Autarkis are just finding burners, alternatives, weird means of communication.
Yeah, my thinking was I can't text Carl because camera,
no.
and then I can't text Janusz because technology.
Ruby's got my number.
Yeah. You do have a couple of the burner, a couple of numbers for burners from Nanj.
Yeah, I'll send her a text and ask her if she's just where she is.
No, I've assumed I'm at Janusz's Haven because we're having the spring equinox, aren't we?
Yes.
Okay. Are we not going on a boat ride, or is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow. That's
tomorrow.
So in which case you will receive a reply, I would think, reasonably quickly that says, I'm at Janusz's Haven, and asks what's up.
Yeah, because the equinox is not for a few days still. You're doing the preparations.
Okay, sorry. Okay. In which case,
Ruby was going to help with the preparations.
Right, fine. Well, I'm not aware of being elsewhere, so I'm probably there helping out with. So that it'll be the same reply. But I'll ask what's up, sort of thing.
I'll just say, need to chat. I'll come over.
Okay.
I'll reply back and say, I'll ask Janusz.
Oh, yeah.
Show up without permission.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And then I will ask him if she can come over and send a reply.
So, I mean, Yash will say yes, that she can come over.
Okay, so I'll send that reply back.
Cool. All right.
He will be curious as to what it's about.
I'll say I don't know.
Okay.
Are you
Yeah.
picking up Carl on your way? Because you're in
Yeah.
Well,
BS3. So
I imagine if they're organizing a ritual, then Carl will want to get involved to help stage it. Anyway.
well, yeah, because you mentioned you wanted to understand a little bit more of what's going on with Nanch and
Well, yeah, I mean, and
Janusz.
I've been to the Children of Summer's rituals before through my
the celebrations there, the festivals.
yeah.
Celebration ritual.
Yep. So Carl will be there as well.
Oh, well. Happy days.
I have not told you that Carl's coming because I don't know.
Well, no, but I'll know, so it's
Yes,
fine.
okay.
I wouldn't dare enter particularly his haven without permission. I mean, come on.
Feels so much
Which
more
clan is
polite
he
than me.
again?
Okay, so Matilda arrives. At this point, it is late. Like, you were making... you might have, at best, half an hour before you start making your way to wherever it is that you are going to spend the day, if you are to make it there comfortably and with enough time.
I'm going to just be playing the guitar in the common room,
Okay.
waiting for them to arrive.
Yeah.
So Matilda shows up
Yeah.
with a box.
Oh no, I'd leave the box in the car.
Very well.
Yeah.
Because the dogs would have gone mad.
Yeah, no fucking way.
So it's so we all basically all together then? Is that
Yes,
what's up?
yes.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so welcome, Matilda.
Thank you. Is anyone going to interrupt us?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
If there's a door, I don't know how many entrances there are to the room we're in, but I will have the Duchess go sit outside, at the door.
I'll just do a recce and make sure the doors are closed.
Thank you.
I'll say, what are you getting at? Because your message sounded like you're having the best of evenings.
No, it's been a bit shit. Mitchell's sire has been killed.
My goodness.
Exactly the same way that Gareth Davis was.
Well, that is interesting.
In that case, it may well be the same culprit.
Or a copycat.
Well,
no, I was going to say the same culprit has killed Jonathan, because my information was it was the same killer for Gareth and Jonathan's murder, if you remember. So
I remember it.
I don't know why.
When did this happen? Tonight? Just now?
I think so. He came back. It was on his dining room table. He went berserk.
Where he lives?
What was?
Where he lives. There was no sign of a break-in. It was in his room, so whoever put it in there was incredibly...
Best will in the world. Actually, there was no sign of a break-in. With the best will in the world, mate, it's not like you're an expert in these things.
Okay, fine. All right.
You want me to go down there and have a look?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask, because I know you're good at that.
And either way...
What happened to Mitchell? What happened?
He went berserk, and they had to stake him for a while.
Well, where is he to now?
Right.
He's fine. We sorted it out. He's unstaked.
Did anyone see him?
No, it was in his flat. I mean, perhaps they heard him, but I don't think. I think they got staken in pretty fast. Ruby's there as well. She's sorting him out.
She all right?
No, but they're. I know she went through this 5 years ago, so I think she knows how to console him and what to say. And she's good at that. She knows the words. So she's with him at the moment. I'm going to check in with them again tomorrow, but.
Well, if they are struggling, they can always find sanctuary here.
That's very kind. I think, by the sounds of it, they just need each other for support. But I did say that I'd tell you that she probably wouldn't be available for a few days. Or it's up to her, obviously, but I imagine she needs to be with him.
Well, we are approaching a time of saying goodbye to the old times and welcoming the new. It might be good for Mitchell.
Not saying goodbye to Yesai, though, when he's been decapitated. I'm not sure if that's particularly happy.
Well,
who said anything about happiness?
Right.
It is simply a thing that must be gone through. If he has lost his sire and is in grief, surely he should have a chance to express that grief in more than just a unleashing of the beast.
Right. The worst thing is if you don't acknowledge anything like it, if you don't pay any attention to it, it sits there and festers. And that only goes one way. So having an opportunity to do that, his sire, forgive me, is gone whether he likes it or not. And actually having some way to come to terms with that seems to me like a good idea.
But of course, if they are happy in each other's arms, we would not separate them.
Yeah.
But all of this talk of murder makes all the more pressing the business that Carl and Nanjazel had with Teach.
Right.
We haven't spoken about that. How did that go?
We only met him tonight, didn't we, Carl?
Yeah. It went... Yeah. There were a few dodgy moments, perhaps.
Dodgy moments? Did you tell him?
Dodgy moments?
I'm with Matilda. What is this dodgy moments?
Well, there weren't no dodgy moments.
Wait, no. You didn't say that I knew.
As with their, Teach is an arch negotiator, of course, and
I negotiated with him, didn't I?
And Nanjazal negotiated with him extremely well.
And we've got a meeting with him tomorrow.
We do. We have a meeting with him tomorrow. However, yes, it's just that perhaps between us, we may have let more slip than we thought we should initially. Simply.
What are you talking about?
What did you?
He bought it.
I'm no clearer as to what happened now.
Yeah, no, I'm actually quite confused as well. Just break it down. What did you actually tell him?
Well, I think he might have gathered, possibly, that we weren't the only two who knew this secret.
No way. No way.
This is exactly why I didn't want it.
Matilda, Carl's got it wrong. I told him there was only the two of us what knew about it. He believed me. There ain't no problems. There are no problems.
Did you say, oh, it's just the two of us? Or did you just,
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, yeah, it's just the two of us. That's exactly the words I used.
Specifically, she said, it's just the two of us.
Fuck's sake. All right. Do you think he...
No, I don't think it. He bought it.
I think she covered it up extremely
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
Yeah.
After all this time, you don't believe me?
I don't... Well, I believe that Teacher's very insightful.
I think he has to be, given his position. That's my worry. I don't.
Matilda.
The thing is, what I would say is obviously I had all my senses up, honed, listening to the conversation, because obviously it was for Nanjasal to negotiate as a fellow member of the Autarkis, and with my preternatural awareness, I only just noticed this tiny slip of the tongue. So it's possible that Teach missed it.
Okay. Fine.
Be at peace, Nanjazal. I'm sure that Matilda merely means she is worried.
She means we've known each other for 5 years. Don't believe a fucking word I say.
I'm sure she does not mean that, do you, Matilda?
It's not what I meant.
That's what you said. So, excuse me for taking umbrage on it, but that's what you said. You said to my face in here, where I live, that you don't believe me.
Where you live?
Yeah, where I live, here.
Since when do you live here?
Since ages ago.
No, wait, have you... is this your permanent address now?
That is not what this conversation is about.
What I'm saying is... fine, if he didn't believe you, that's great, but that's still a huge risk. Because if he, for whatever reason, goes to Roger and says, oh, well, they said it was only the two of them, but actually I think all four of them knew one of them is an Anarch, then I'm in a huge amount of trouble.
And I'm telling you, Carl's got it wrong. And either way, I'm going to meet with him, and Carla's coming with me tomorrow on his boat.
Yes. Yes.
We'll find
that's all
out
set. That's all
at
set.
that point the way it's going to be.
Fine.
Jesus, credit me with some bloody competence, will you?
I haven't discredited you myself, but as I say, we will see what happens tomorrow. But we kind of talked about the balance of power in Bristol, really, and the fact that there is a history here of the lesser factions having more of a bond in order that their balance of power is maintained. And in this case, now your faction, Matilda, is in the ascendant, and therefore it is up to the Camarilla and the Autarkis to form that bond, if possible. So
He's a bloody merchant, isn't he? He knows how to make a trade deal, and that's what I offered him.
He does. And also,
So,
if this is linked to Jonathan's and Gareth's deaths, what's happened tonight, then it's even more important that we have the backing of somebody of his clout as we go on looking into these murders.
Is
Patron
Teach
would be very
aware? Is Carl? Is Teach aware of the connection between the three deaths?
No, it's something that I might well share with him tomorrow. It's something that wasn't that important tonight. The fact that Gareth's death may be involved. It was a bombshell enough, I think, for him that we had some sort of proof that Roger might be the perpetrator of the murder. But
Roger is the information we gave him, because we weren't giving him all the information up front, and besides, we didn't know nothing about Mitchell Sire at the time.
What's his name, Mitchell Sire? Do we know?
Yes, his name is Scott Roberts.
Scott Roberts.
Scott,
Well,
he might have been even when he weren't dead at the time.
Yeah, we don't know when he died. It's impossible to tell. Well, maybe someone who's more knowledgeable.
We just need witnesses as to when he was seen last.
I'll go down the flat.
And
have a
without
look
Annie,
around.
I don't see how I could possibly recreate the ritual that allowed me to see the past.
Perhaps, though, it is something you could try.
Maybe you could help him.
We could see what will happen. It does not hurt to ask for guidance.
No, but I'm more likely to see where this will. I'm more likely to see a cryptic version of where this might lead us than the actual past. I think this is.
Then that might be helpful.
As I
Right?
said, the only time I've ever seen the past is when Annie was guiding me.
Can't we get Carl down the flat as well? I don't necessarily.
probably.
Well, I've been before. I mean, Ruby's a
No,
friend.
but since the Ebb was found there, because then you'll be like when you had the first vision. You'll be
Yes, perhaps it will. You will receive some wisdom that might help us, Carl.
It's possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to go down there
maybe
tonight
a long shot. But I mean, if we
before
can
the
try.
twelve.
So we can-
And Giselle, the sun is not far. I do not think it wise. In fact, if the rest of you wish to remain here tonight,
I can
rather
go
than-
to the.
yeah,
I can go to the HQ. It's hardly far.
well, I feel it. I feel it is close.
It's true.
You wish to
Well,
take
perhaps
such a risk, but please know you are welcome to stay here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll make my excuses in that case and head to the headquarters because the lodgings below are reasonable. We've kept them up quite well, I think. So
I will. Is Matilda going to stay?
I will.
If you
Yeah, I'll
drive,
stay.
oh well, if you have your car, if you're gonna drive long, it's gonna be risky. But if you drive a short distance, then it's okay. If you stay, of course, it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, sure, I'll stay. Yeah, I'll say if you. Thank you. Yeah, I should
Of course, you are my guests. I will have a room prepared for you.
Thank you.
Obviously, for those of you who are very good at kind of noticing these things and know Janusz well, he's very, very slightly slightly miffed that Carl isn't staying. To go back to the HQ, but doesn't say anything about it. He just goes off and we'll get a room. We'll give instructions for Evelina to set a room for Matilda.
Oh,
A very dutiful Evelina rushes to prepare a room. No one notices her presence other than the speed at which she like works in the background and then disappears.
If Nadge will let me, I'll take her aside before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And just say, I am sorry. I didn't mean it.
It's all right.
I was just anxious.
It's all right.
I do believe you.
I don't know why Carl said what he said, because it was teach boy. That's how it was.
That's great to hear.
Fuck.
I'm not. No.
No. It's okay.
Yeah, she'll be like
Matilda has a compulsion of 3, and and enough persuasion.
She keeps them together.
Like Alice. Now we know Alice has very low composure, but no, Matilda on the other hand.
100%. Composure 1.
I'll say it's bad what's happened to Mitchell's sire.
Yeah.
We've got to get to the bottom of this in a way we didn't with Garrick.
I mean, so we had an Autarkis and then a Camarilla and now an Anarch.
You know what?
I wonder if anyone's going to get the full set and
I ain't being
in the library.
I ain't being funny, May, but there is another common connection here. Not with Jonathan.
Yeah.
But it seems like 2 of these people, because 2 of them were killed, as far as we can tell, not the Aberrites like Jonathan. I know Carl said they was linked, but both of them were people who had a connection indirectly to your group of mates.
Yeah, and
that don't fill me with joy. I'll be honest.
And crossed my mind as well.
And if Roger was doing in Jonathan, might be that there was, I don't know, some other impact of that or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It strikes me that it's a lot for Ruby to take, right?
Yeah.
And
Ruby's
don't seem like it's just on her, but it seems like there's a lot keeps landing on that group of people. And but no, I mean,
I don't want to wait. I want to find who it is because I don't want to wait for another one of them to have a dead sire.
Tomorrow, go down there. I'll have a look in the flat.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able before or after I meet with Teach. Right? You tell them I'll be there.
That's fine. I need to probably talk to the representative or talk to someone in the annex and tell them what happened, and then we can all go together and we can have a look. See.
Let me get them first, because if they decide they're going to do an investigation, then I won't get a look in. And if that itches back to Carl and Janish's investigation, then it makes the most sense to get. I'm not going to move anything. I won't touch anything.
No. Just.
But either way, somebody who could get in and out, even if it made it look like there weren't a break-in, that's somebody who knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And that limits your number of suspects.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Thanks, Matty.
Okay. Then Carl makes its way back to the HQ, and the rest of the coterie spends the day in the Haven. In Janice's Haven. And for the first time in many years, Matilda dreams. But her dreams are filled with warnings. They're more like nightmares of people being chased and killed and burned. And all of them are warning you to stay safe. to run away. Of course, by the time the sun goes down and your body reanimates, because it's not like you were sleeping, you were just dead. And your neurons start firing again, and your body starts reanimating, and the chain reaction that makes your own life possible begins. You also have that brief moment of temporary stupidity that comes with waking. And your thoughts are hazy, but you could have sworn you saw a face on the wall warning you. But of what? You're not sure. Evelina shows up early in the evening to take care of the dogs in Janus's room and to make the preparations for the evening for Janus. She is looking at the floor all the time, being very, very, very coy and very subservient.
Okay, well, I'm going to generally ignore her for a little bit, let her sweat. But I will, because obviously I've got guests staying. So I will go and check on my guests, because in this season I'm a good host, unlike last season.
Okay,
I'm making my way to
the haven.
yeah.
Okay. So Matilda, you'll hear knocking on your door. Well, and then some scraping.
Should I make a rouse check? Because it's a new day?
Everybody makes a rouse check.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's
Roll me, Carl.
Oh yeah. I'll
Roll me,
roll
come
for
on.
you.
Rails at the bottom, isn't it? Rails.
Yeah, not that one.
Let's see. Ooh, interesting. So, Carl, Janus, and Nanjasel go
Yeah.
hungry-er. So
For how
Nanjasel,
long am I?
now you're at hunger 3.
Yeah, I'll need
good.
to feed on the
I'll
way
feed
to the haven.
What's your hunger level? So Nanjasel is at 3. Janus?
I'm at 2.
Janus 2. Carl is at 3, and Matilda passed her check, her
So
rouse
I'm
check.
at
2 still.
2.
Yes. Okay, so we have 2 people at hunger 3. Carl is going to feed on the way.
Yes. I'll
Well, you're in the domain, so you can. Are you gonna go on a hunt, or are you just gonna take advantage of the chassis and use some of the sort of the easy feedings that?
I'll use the chassis. I'll go and talk to people down a community centre. Some of the people who will be finishing an art class that I've organised for them, and I'll be looking at some paintings, and I'll be particularly interested in someone's new painting, and talk to them and say, I'd like to have that's a really interesting use of texture and colour. I'd like to talk to you about in more detail, if I may. And
how much will you be slaking? Your chassis 4, so in theory you could provide up to 4 slake up to 4. Okay, so you're going right down. Okay.
Yeah, and also what I'm doing is as well, because of the ecstasy of the mortal when the vampire feeds. I'm also being a Toreador. I will be using my power of share the senses. That as I drink from them, I will be zoning in on their sense of touch and feeling. I won't be worrying about sight or sound.
Talk about a Toreador kink right there.
Yes.
That is a good way of getting a kick, and and a half actually. The ecstasies of the kiss is surreal, and it's something that for many of you have that connotation of being the supreme act of everything.
I remember the ecstasy of the last moments of my mortal life,
as well.
and also the sense of vulnerability. And as a performer and as an artist, I am interested in all that, and the way in which those feelings can then be used in my art. That is my excuse for it, to myself.
And you get a very good inkling of what it feels to surrender yourself utterly to the moment, to the sensation, to what you're feeling, to just forget yourself in that instant and just let it go. And it is liberating. You drop all your burdens, you forget who you are, where you are, what you're doing. You're just there, feeling what they feel. Pure and undiluted ecstasy.
And living in the moment is as pure a sensation as you can have as a toreador.
Yes.
There in the closed art room, surrounded by mostly mediocre art, feeling this ecstasy. Perhaps
You
as I
do
that.
gain because this is from the scene, the sort of the artsy scene, and with people very enthusiastic about what they're doing. You do gain sanguine resonance until you feed again, or you end up with hunger 5, which makes your mood slightly brighter, chipper. You're giddier. You have that anticipation of the creation, and then the satisfaction. It's sort of that joy. Joy is what you're feeling.
Yeah.
So,
well, I shall, calm down and finish my feed, lick the wound, and look them in the eye and say, I am so happy that we have been able to share this moment. It has made us kin in some way. I look forward to your next oeuvre.
And they very weakly, they put a hand to your cheek. And you know this is very uncharacteristic of them. They're still under that temporary haze that you have after the kiss, after you've been fed upon. That's why you can speak so openly, if you will, to them. They will not remember, but they do caress your cheek and say, yes, we're kin now.
We are.
And
stay safe.
And as you leave, you see them holding to the wall and holding their forehead. As Carl makes his way to Janus's haven. So, back in the haven, Janus was making sure that his guest, Matilda, was all right. And you hear the knocking and the rasping of the rasping is very loud. It's more thumpy, which makes you think it might be Duchess.
Yeah, probably not Janusz. But yeah, I'll just say, come in. But I'll be kind of looking at the area of the wall where I thought I saw that face, a little bit distracted.
So, Janusz will come in.
Yeah.
Probably with a dog or other following in.
Yeah, like 3 dogs come in, including a small Pomeranian, a white one that goes into bed just to lick your face or something. Matilda.
Good evening.
Hi. Thank you for having me again. It's nice to stay in here finally. See what all the fuss is about.
And have you seen what all the fuss is about?
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, it's lovely in here. How many people do you normally have staying at any one time?
Well, it varies. Most of the children of summer well, come and go as they wish, but we have many rooms. This house is a holy place, and it is best when it is full of people and sound. It has suffered in its time, this house, but we are gradually washing away the stains of the past.
Suffered in your time or beforehand?
Yes, before I was as you find me now. I grew up here when I was young.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh. Do you know what happened with it? Do you know what it's suffering with?
Yes, the people that were here, I suppose you would call them my second family, for they were not my blood family. But they were, much like this community, they were slaughtered.
Oh.
Every one of them.
And how did you escape?
Well, I, as you know, I tend to look after the dogs, and at that time I was out in the grounds, so I heard the gunfire. And I was lucky. It's the only reason I wasn't caught with the others.
I'm surprised you say lucky. I thought you'd more be, I don't know, attribute it to fate or to some sort of divine.
Well, yes, I suppose with the benefit of hindsight, I could say that. But you have to ask yourself, Matilda, where fortune comes from in the first place.
I don't know. Two big questions for me. And then more for you.
I did have a question for you, though.
Yes?
I understand that you are involved in some sort of political
Yes. How much do
business.
you know much about it?
Not a lot. I understand that you are standing for some position of power within the Anarchs.
Yeah.
I find such a thing interesting. It is a difficult thing, taking on a position of leadership.
It is, but it's I don't know. I think it's important.
I'm curious as to why you have chosen to do this.
I mean, I think when you've seen enough dodgy leaders, you get a bit sick of it, and you think you could do a better job than a lot of them, to be honest. I mean, I do want to have a say, and I do want to have influence. Obviously, I would be lying if I said not, but perhaps I want other people to not have influence more, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
And I mean, I don't have particularly stiff competition at the moment, so that helps.
So you are confident that you'll be successful then?
Well, I don't think anyone can be confident. I think I'm doing everything that I can, barring any sort of disasters, which at the moment there seem to be quite a few of them with things going on, so you don't know.
Well, I am confident in you, Matilda. I think there is something about you that I think will carry you through this day.
It's very nice of you to say. I've learnt a lot in the last 5 years being around you and being around Carl and Nanj. I feel like I've developed a lot more. I felt a bit dormant for 10 years really when I was first moved here. Wasn't really doing much, and I don't know, it's been nice to have the three of you. Not always agreeing, but you know.
Yes, we are certainly good in that regard.
Yeah.
Tell me one last, if I may.
Of course.
If you are successful, of course, you will then be in this position, and you'll have people who follow you, who look up to you, who will be guided by you. What will you be guiding them towards?
It's a very interesting question. I suppose to see
the world and people around them with open eyes, without any sort of without prejudice, and just to see things for the way they are and see people for the way they are, to think for themselves. Sometimes people need a bit of a push to do that.
You wish to awaken them.
I suppose so.
Good. Good.
Is that what you do here?
I would say that here we give people direction. We give them a place to belong, a place to reconnect with themselves and older things that I think are often forgotten in these modern nights.
Can I ask you a question? I don't want to open up old wounds, but why are you pushing so hard with this Roger thing?
It seems that Bristol has conveniently, I would say forgotten, but has believed the lie that we know to be a lie as to who committed that murder. A soul was devoured upon our soil. That cannot be forgotten. It cannot be forgiven. More than that, or in addition perhaps to that, profane rituals were carried out upon our soil. That cannot be forgotten or forgiven either. In the terms of our kind, not that much time has passed.
Yes.
Has there not been a murder 5 years later with the same pattern as the one before? Perhaps if we had been more vigilant, Mitchell's sire would still walk the night.
It's quite a lot of responsibility to take.
Well, you are the one who wishes to be a leader.
That's fair enough. If I am elected, then I will be in a position where I have more influence, I have more power, and I have more contacts. It also means that if we all continue to pursue Roger as the culprit, then more is at risk for me, and I realize that is selfish, but I hope you can understand where I come from with this. I'm not asking you to drop it. I'm asking you to see my point of view and take it into consideration.
I have no desire to see your soul devoured, like Jonathan
That's
Fowler
good to hear.
Matilda, nor mine. And Roger Smith, for all of his faults, is an ancient being and must be treated with respect and care. And that does not mean that we can allow him to get away with this.
If he did it.
Wow. I have faith in Carl and his vision. That is enough for me. Perhaps in time it will be enough for you as well.
Maybe. I'll let you. I'll just get changed. So.
Of course. Well, you are welcome to stay as long as you need.
Thank you. I mean, I'll go and talk to Nanj about getting her over at the flat, but thank you, Janusz.
And then I will leave.
Cool. So Carl arrives now to the haven. Nanjasel would be the one seen to him entering, or at least knocking on the door. And
I mean, assuming that I'm allowed to let people in, then I will do that.
If you're talking about also Carl,
yes,
generally speaking, the
It is known,
Coterie have a sort of, they're known to be
fine.
the Coterie and welcome, so that it's slightly
also,
Yeah.
it was known that he was just coming back the following night. He was expected.
It's breaching hospitality.
I
Nah,
mean,
just
it's a
I've learned
Schmitzy.
that hospitality is a deep and nuanced thing, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So have I. I mean,
Yeah.
Nanjazal, it is a pleasure and a wonder as ever to see you and be in your presence. How
You all right, Cole?
lovely.
Cole,
Yes,
you
of
all right?
course. Of course. I am as well as can be expected in this wonderful, wonderful place.
Well, you sound a bit creepy, mate. You sure nothing's happened to you?
Creepy. Creepy. Excellent. I'm glad I sound creepy. I'll have to work on that then. Creepy.
Oh,
Yes.
well,
Good.
obviously, I'll let him in. I'll say, so is that your plan to talk to Teach then?
Teach.
Right, yeah, because we've got to go and see him.
Yes. Oh, yes, we have to see Teach. Interesting.
I
Yeah,
got to eat
I am expecting to talk to Teach, and I will talk to Teach with my words as I am talking to you. So, yes.
Well, I got to have something to eat first because
Excellent.
I'm
Excellent.
hungry.
I just did that. It was a fantastic experience, I must say.
Oh, I see. Right, that's why you're all not under the collar.
So is Nanjazal going out on a proper hunt, or is she using the resources
I mean, I
available
see.
in the chassis as in simple? The thing is that if you slake the 2 hunger to bring you back to 1, then just know that the rest of the coterie will have to actually hunt if they want to get blood in the chassis, because you would have had depleted the easy pickings for the week.
I noticed you didn't point that out to Carl.
Okay, and for those of you who are, for those of you who are listening, and especially those who are joining us in this second season, which I know there are a few. Thank you very much for joining. I saw you in the chat last week. So what we have is sort of one of those informal like house rules in which a chassis for a coterie, it is the size of their domain, and also not the size in terms of like square miles or meters or however you want to measure it, but also the traffic. So a small place on a very transited area will have with a lot of places where you can safely feed, will be as valuable as a massive area with very few people also isolated. The area in Lockleys provides certain spaces for good hunting during the evenings. It's a nice, quiet residential area with a little bit of industrial area on the side. There are some university campus nearby, so it is a very good sort of feeding ground. So mechanically, we are representing the dots of chassis the coterie has as the equivalent of a sort of shared herd. And I use this in the loosest of terms, as in mechanically it's the same. They can use as many points as they have in their chassis to slake as many points of blood, but it's shared by everybody. And then bigger chassis means easier feeding grounds, but they are shared by everybody.
So I think the answer to whether I'm using the chassis or whether I'm going out depends on how much time I have.
Not much, because you were asked to be there.
Yes, because we have to be there, and I have to go to the flat first. So I think I'll probably you guys use the chassis.
Okay, so you're slaking 1 or 2?
I feel like probably I should go 2 because I'm meeting Teach, aren't I?
And you might be needing those, blood surges.
Or I might need that self-control.
Or that self-control.
Yeah.
Knowing Nanj, she's going to hit the pubs. Unlike Carl, that hit the very inspired amateur artist sort of scene that has been created in Lockleys.
Yeah, I'm like the low grade, like whatever riffraff I can find.
Okay.
This is quick and dirty.
Okay. You get actually quick and dirty 2 short feeds, slaking 1 each, not even taking a full while with either of them. People on a bar, on a pub. I mean, it's easy feedings. You feel all right, not necessarily giddy or happy or drunk.
I don't feel like I've just had the night of my life. You mean?
Not like you had the night of your life, but you do go down to hunger 1.
Sure.
And
I'm going to go back and meet Matilda then, I think.
Yes. So are you making arrangements to go to the south. You're going to BS3.
Can
Check
I?
on Mitch's apartment first.
Can we also bring Carl? Because I can then
Yeah.
Yeah, of
take
course.
Carl with the dogs, or after that with Teach, because I know the
Does,
route.
does Janusz want to come as well?
I mean, if everyone's going, yeah, okay.
I mean, I do have a question. Is it in terms of them being in BS3 and being in that area? Is it okay for them to be there, or are we breaking some rules?
I think we
Or
can't-
it's okay because like I'm there chaperoning them.
Well, you're taking them to Mitchell's place. At least let Mitchell or Ruby know because it's their
I
house.
would, yeah.
And if they say they're okay, usually Anarchs have slightly less of an issue with moving around territories to the chagrin of most people because they ignore also the rules of other territories.
Yeah.
But if it's a short dispensation, you might be able to work something out, as in we're going for a short party, they're coming with me, we're chaperoning. You have a couple of ways out. I mean, if they're going with you, it's okay. If they are found on their own in our territory without sort of permission or at least notification of what is it that they're doing, then they could be in trouble, but not with you.
That's fine. So I'll drop a text to Ruby probably and ask if it's okay to bring Janusz and Carl and Ange over. Just to investigate.
She says that yes, I'm leaving. Murray's coming, and he'll wait here. He'll give you the keys. I'm taking Mitchell to Audrey's, and you know Audrey lives by the Severn, like by the waterfront.
Okay. I'll just text her back and say thank you, and that I'll see her later on.
Okay. So to the Matilda Mobile. Coterie. It's a relatively short drive to BS3 area.
Did we go over the
I
river?
relax as I cross the river many times and don't care.
Nice.
What you were asking, Alice? Sorry.
I was literally asking, do we go over the river? And then Bex was like, oh, cool.
Yes, you do go over the river, but no one seems to be affected. by this.
Hallelujah! I have exorcised a demon.
Lush.
It's how clear. Let's go.
And you get to Mitchell's flat.
All right. I'll if I see Murray out the front, I'll say hi and then just ask him how are the other two.
Murray approaches you, waves at Carl, sort of like recognizes him, and Carl says hi to everybody. So, and then he says quietly, Mitchell's been acting odd, so Audrey thought it would be better for him to be sort of away from things for a couple of days.
Are we saying odd like this is to be expected because his sires
Yes.
just died odd? Okay, not right.
Yes.
Fine.
But you never knew the Bruya.
Yeah. Okay.
This needs sorting, Matilda.
I know.
Felicity has been made aware of this. Squid saw to it. He went, you know him. He
Did
wanted
he find
to
the
do.
body?
No, he hasn't. He went through the proper channels. Talked to Felicity. Well, talked to Felicity's assistant, and let them know that a body needs to be found if it is a potential breach of the Masquerade. And if a body is found, an Anarch body is found, his head was here, but if his body is found everywhere, the Anarchs can take the fall for this.
Yeah. I know.
So, I'm going with them.
That's what we're here to do. Is we're going to hopefully find out
Okay, good.
who broke
Yeah,
in.
don't worry, mate. I'll find out who broke in and I.
Thanks. I'm going.
Would you like some assistance in finding or searching for a body in the immediate area?
Well, I mean, if you are asking me, then yes. But I don't know how the law works. And turns to the solicitor, barrister, lawyer.
Yeah. And it depends what Janusz is offering.
Well, I am offering dogs. Dogs are very good at finding meat.
Yeah, that would be
And
great.
I would offer my own services, as I have seen things.
That's both a very good
In the
idea. But
past.
Carl, I want you to come in the flat and help me out. For starters.
Yes. So who's there at the moment? Is this the Anarch?
Inside, no one.
Coterie? Right. Okay.
Inside, no one. It's
They're all
just
gone.
outside is Murray, which I don't know if I describe Murray. He is a man of African descent
Oh,
with
yeah.
with fine features, very short hair, and somewhat of a slightly athletic look, but not like buff or no, like the kind of guy who he's youngish, in his early 20s, and he looks like the type of guy who keeps active or playing soccer or football, depending on where you are in the audience. The right word is football, or doing some physical activity. He looks a little concerned, but of course, given the circumstances, you can imagine that this whole situation is very regular, and it's not something. This is very natural and also very reassuring, because it means that this guy is not used to this kind of horror.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I mean, it's important that we see, Mitchell and Ruby, I guess, but certainly if we can investigate the flat.
Well, I figure me and you and Carl, me and you can go up to the flat. Jan and the dogs, Matty can have a look for other things, what's around,
Right.
and we can see if anything happens while you're in the flat.
Yeah.
I think I need to stay with you.
Sorry if that's what it's got to be.
But we can do. You can.
Well, I
do
can-
investigation
I-
and then.
We can gather dogs afterwards if you wish to look at that.
Well,
flat
me and
first.
Carl afterwards has got to go off and meet with.
Yeah. Well, that's
That's
fine,
been,
because you can follow your dogs while we go to.
I'm keen to get up there,
Yeah.
Matty, because if I can find out how they got in, I might be able to trace them back the way they came.
Yeah,
Um,
and then more likely that the dogs will pick up a scent if they're in the right place.
I can help you babysit so they don't get into trouble for being here.
Do either of you speak, hold dominion over this area?
No, this is Audrey's, and this is Mitchell and Ruby's place. I live nearby, so
And they have given us permission to enter the flat.
well no.
Well, they gave permission for me to bring all three of you.
So you speak for them and you have their permission for us to enter, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry, to be clear, that is what you're saying. You have their word that we may enter.
Yes, they said
Good,
that's
good. Then we may enter.
Then indeed we may.
It does feel a little odd to Janice, actually. Like the fact that Matilda is the one telling you to go in, where this is not her house.
Yeah.
And there was no, I mean, according to the rules of hospitality, she has not given the place for Matilda's specific safekeeping. Therefore, Janice is not really super comfortable with the idea of her, like, someone who is not in charge of the place letting him in.
Okay, so he will stop and then say, it does not feel correct, given how tense things are with the murder, that we simply walk in without Ruby or...
I mean, I can show you the text.
But I
if you'd
got
like
to
to see.
go in or I can't look.
Well, you must all do what you will do, but I feel that I will not.
I can, says Murray, I can walk around with the dogs with you, I guess, if you don't want to go in. I mean, the guys cleaned it up and there's no mess, but I understand if you don't want to go in.
If you're comfortable.
I'm
then.
going in. I'll say, and I'll walk in.
Nanjazal,
I'm
One
going
more.
in as well.
I'll lean in a little bit and say, if you feel the area is disturbed in some other way, please let me know. And
What?
This may seem a strange thing, but should they keep pets, particularly a tank? Again, speak to me.
What?
Right, and I'll go.
I'll take that under advisement and I'll head in.
Okay, so Matilda stays with Carl and Nangisel going in.
Yep.
While Murray just walks with Janice and to see what they're gonna do with the dogs.
Yeah. Obviously, we'll have to go back to get the dogs and then come back again, right? Because Janis doesn't drive.
Okay, he can. Oh, you're gonna get dogs. He can drive you.
Yeah, perfect.
So you're gonna be doing that for a while.
Yeah, cool.
So let's go briefly to the flat.
Okay. So I want to go in and have a good look around. My main goals are figure out what method of ingress or egress was used by the person who left the head here.
Yes.
And if I can, find a route to follow whatever trail might exist, but also now to figure out if there are any pets / fish tanks / weird stuff that Janis might be interested in.
Boxes.
So yes, yeah, that's my. So I will obviously focus a lot of my attention on the table where this was left, but I assume, I'm going to look for what allowed a person to do this. And I will ask Carl if he can look around, because obviously he is gifted with seeing things that I can't see. See if there's anything he can tell in that vein. About the tank or the whatevers.
Okay.
I walk into the room. I'm still enhanced by the sanguinity of my blood, of course.
Yes.
And I just stand there and look around. My heightened senses are up. And as I look around, a nihilistic poem comes to me, and it goes like this. Death. Another death among the undying. We all chase the sensation of a life. Death, we die, but not for want of trying to stretch living, but our scent of death is rife. A flower wilts, ink fades upon a page, reminders of inevitable ending. We fight, we deny, we ignore, we rage, but with death there is no contending. Even for us, that may seem undying. Time must take, memories must fade. Within her embrace we will be lying until her own Charon must be paid. For even time herself must die at last. No present, no future, even no past.
Bravo.
And I look around and attempt a vision.
So I imagine you've said this in the middle of the
does he recite
I
that
know,
now?
imagine-
Yes, he
yeah,
does.
I'm imagining things
Yeah,
out
I'm
loud.
reciting that out loud
And you look-
as a way into the
vision.
possible vision.
Okay. So you look.
He's like work. For
Someone-
to you girls, it looks like he's like working himself up to this.
Yeah.
I mean, Carl seems on the edge of being high on life on another level.
Yeah.
I'll be like, mate, what have you been taking?
I'll just
I
give
mean, seriously, because I can make some good use of it, or I can make some good money out of it, or I can get some more in if you want.
Carl
ignores Nangisel's whispering.
as-
He's gone to another place.
yeah, his eyes roll up. Can you do an Auspix 2 premonition check? In the meantime, Nangisel will do a resolve plus larceny check, which I know I will make for you.
While they're doing that, can I knock on the neighbors' doors, or maybe actually the direct neighbor next to him, and just ask whether he heard a disturbance last night?
Okay, just give me a second. Nangisel, are you going to do any blood surges for the search?
Oh yeah, I'm not very hungry, am I? So yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Oh my god.
Seems like a good idea to try and find this.
That's my rouse check. So I
That's like
succeeded
the
in the rouse check.
problem.
And then I have to make the discipline check, which is next to premonition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like this.
Okay, so far, Bex, you have 5 successes.
Okay.
Actually, your hunger was 1. So you have 1, 2, 3 non-hunger dice that are, whatchamacallit, not successes.
Rerollable.
Do you want to reroll them with willpower?
No.
Well thought. Carl, on the other hand, has 4 successes. You only
Sounds
have
That doesn't do it.
you only have
Help me.
you only have 2 dice that are not successes.
Yeah, I'm not going to re-roll this.
Okay.
I mean, four sounds good. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how these things work, but 4 sounds like a good number to get.
And Matilda, can you get me a charisma plus? You're trying to. Yes, it's going to be charisma plus investigation. You're going to be talking to people. Normal stuff. Nangisel sees the table. There is a small sort of like a small like table, not the proper dining table, but there's a small table that is bashed. There is some blood in it, but some of it has been wiped clean, not super thoroughly. But other than the signs of disturbance inside, it is though as the people that have come in and out of this place have used the key.
Okay. All right.
Because there is like literally, there is not even like there's no scratching of any kind in any of the locks from the front or the back door.
Okay.
And these are the ones that have the lower key and the second.
Yep. So that's
Passing
not very easy to do. Yes.
So you would have to, undo one and then undo the other. And
Yeah.
none of them have any scratching, tampering of any kind. The windows look okay. No one has tried to move it or scratch. So the only thing that is left to your mind is whomever came in with a key. And
Okay.
came and went out with a key.
Okay. Fine.
Matilda.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, I'll wait and see what happens with Carl, and then my intention will be at some point later to bring everyone together and talk about this.
Okay. Matilda finds with her amazing 1 success
Yeah.
that there was indeed some disturbance last night. There was a fight. There was a ruckus. People were arguing and screaming and yelling, and then all of a sudden they'll stop. So,
Thank you. Oh, okay. Great. Thank you very much.
are you going to do something about that?
Yes, absolutely. Right on it.
You do that.
Yeah.
As your candidate, I feel that I should
Have-
do something.
Have a good night.
And then you hear that old man grumbling. He's like, I will have a good night if they stop fighting. Blah, 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 blah. And he closes the door. So, sorry. You did not.
we love an old man, yeah.
No, you had like 1 success. People are what you find is the people saying that they heard a fight. That's what they heard. Carl's vision, though. After that point of death, you feel like you're in the zone. And what comes to you is the image of a queen. Not a specific queen, nor the queen. It's just the archetype of the queen, the archetypical queen. But she's a queen of blood. A queen that approaches a knight on a horse, a black knight on a horse. And with a move of her hand, the knight vanishes. As if she were in a court. Of a court where the king is nothing but a puppet. Where you can feel the influence of the faith. Perhaps the corrupted church. Bishops nearby, dressed in black. Sorry, they're dressed in white in their regalia, also recoil from this queen. And that queen has left a mark where you stand. And you know that the queen has eyes on you.
I meet her gaze with the power of my blood.
She smiles. And you know that you, and perhaps you alone, are safe from her wrath. As she now turns to a lowly soldier, a foot soldier, a peon, and starts making her way towards him. And that poor peon, you're sure is going to die. And that is where we will go for a break. Now, we do have shout-outs this week. So let's go with a quick, nice shout-out. Again, always a shout-out to Sam, because A, he's amazing and always helps with the Chronicle.
Thank you, Sam.
But also, this one comes from the much appreciative Mitch, who was doing the editing on Hubert's recap, and he commended the precision, the Hubert-like precision of how long the audio track takes for him to be able to do the transition, and how nice it is to work with people who are professional. So a very nice and lovely shout out to you, Sam, because I mean, you're keeping them tight on the timing, those recaps. I know I read a lot of stupidity, and then you have to make the most of it, but you're acing it, buddy. We have another shout out. Bex, go on.
Yes. So a few weeks ago, I think it was, Peter wrote a blog post in which he talked about the sign on the door in the house where we live, which was there is a debate about what this room should be called.
There is no debate. It's the war room.
There is a debate, Carlos, about what this room should be called.
It is the war room. I cannot believe we're doing this again.
Games room, or whether it's the war room. Anyway, our mystery benefactor, who some people might remember, when we were doing Tanases, made us the dolls of the various characters, has sent us this. It says the correct thing on it.
It's wrong. It's wrong, and you can barely read it. Turn it around so people know. Can you read that? War room. That is. I think our mystery benefactor was very on point when they did the war room side, but then probably they were sleepy or drunk, or they hit their head, and then they did the games room part.
I think our mystery benefactor had it right when they did the game room, and then they had pity on you, Carlos. They put the war room.
Only time will tell. But I mean, there are.
Thank you, mystery benefactor.
Yes, thank you.
It's lovely.
Thank you. It is lovely, and it gave us endless joy, much enjoyment to realize, because when it arrived, and I was like, I cannot believe that they put games room on it. You better tell them they're wrong. And then Bex grabbed it, and then she realized it was like flipping. I mean, we were flipping.
It was great. Thank you.
Okay.
So that's my time.
So it is. Do we have any other shout outs? No. Okay. So it's 20 to 9 p.m. British time, and we will take a 15-minute break. So be sure to come back at 5 to 9 UK time for the second part of episode 2, season 2 of Blood on the Severn. Until then, see you in 15. Bye.
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 Hello and welcome back for part 2 of this second episode of season 2 of Blood on the Severn. And we're gonna go back to Janus as he goes and gets his dogs. How many are you getting?
Well, I'll get the Duchess, and then whatever other dogs want to come, really.
Well,
I'll get a few of them, and I might even.
Murray's car is not super big.
Well, then, as many as I reckon I can fit in, and Janusz is pretty confident you get quite a few dogs in there, so it'll be a dog pack car.
Okay. So, just the Duchess.
Yeah, like a little one in the footwell.
Yeah. You're gonna be bringing a small one in your lap.
Yeah.
And then maybe Duchess and one more, a shepherd.
Yeah, sure.
A Polish shepherd. Okay. Of course, Murray's not super comfortable, but he makes small talk. Like, so how is it being on a multi-faction coterie? For you, being, library. I've asked Matilda, but she, you know how she is. She's very polite.
I would say it is not so much the factions that are important as the kindred themselves. As I am, of course, associated with the library, but I'm not heavily involved in the politics here. I would say a lot of it comes down to clear rules and respect, and of course, time to smooth off the edges between us.
Yeah, I don't like politics that much either. I mean, Matilda does, and I help her, but I don't know it. I don't know the first thing about him, really.
Well, I would say, rather than learning about politics, the thing to know is about yourself. The politics should always come second.
I agree. So you like dogs?
Yes, very much. Dogs are intelligent, they are loyal, and that is a rare quality in this world.
Do you train them too?
Yes. Well, not so much now, but yes, I used to. And I still keep my hand in, as it were.
Okay. Nice to know. Eventually you make your way back to the BS.
And how... Sorry, yeah, go on.
Oh, no, it's just that he unless you want to ask him something.
No, Janusz will make small talk because he actually does quite like talking to people.
Yeah,
so he will just chatter away.
Yeah,
but,
Murray just does the same. You arrive to the area. I'm gonna ask you to make a resolve plus animal can check. You get to add one die for your specialty with dogs. I think you have.
Okay, brilliant.
And of course, Duchess gives you an extra die.
Perfect. Well, she's a good girl. So I'm gonna.
She's a good famulus.
I'll submit that now. Well, that
is not good.
That is a terrible roll.
Pretty much.
I'm gonna willpower re-roll that.
Even on
Cool.
Because
that is just 3 successes so far. With
wow.
Well, clearly the old gods do not want me to find anything today.
No.
So still 4 successes.
Well, actually, 4 successes is good. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, it's just 110. Yeah.
Yeah, you only got the 110.
Yeah.
There was a possibility there, but no. So, 4 successes is actually you're 1 off. Do you want to succeed at a cost?
What's the cost?
Well, you will find the body.
Yeah.
But in doing so, the dogs will draw attention to it, and there are mortals in the area.
Yeah, sure. That sounds fun.
Come on.
Okay.
Murray's with me. He'll get covered, right?
That is exactly what happens. The dogs find sort of like an odd smell, and near the area where they start sort of like, they're not precisely like barking or going crazy. It is near the road. There is a big Asda in Bedminster.
Okay.
Big one. And then there is a road that is next to the river. And by the riverbank. In a transited area. The dogs start, barking and pointing in their direction. And it is obvious that some people do seem to see something, from the other side. People that are walking react to the dogs, react to what they're barking at. And for you, it's kind of evident that it's a body right there, half covered by the water. And possibly the people on the other side of the river are seeing it. There is a slight issue with that. The other side of the river is Autarkis territory.
So, is the body very obvious, or is it that people might be able to see something? Because the issue is not so. It's much about the Masquerade breach, isn't it? As much as the.
It is more. It is recognizable as either a doll or a mannequin or a body.
Okay.
But unless you act quickly, it might become Masquerade breachy.
Okay. Well, the first order of things is if anybody actually tries to approach the body, if anyone comes over, Janusz will intercept them. But otherwise, this is not his territory. So he will say to Murray, we must act quickly, Murray. What do you suggest, as this is your domain?
Shit. He grabs his phone and he starts making his way around, trying to say, like, just stay here and keep people out. And he starts making calls as he sort of approaches the bank. But, I mean, it's not like it's super accessible, so he has to go around. In the meantime, what are the other three doing in the flat after Carl's vision and Matilda comes back, sort of empty-handed?
So Matilda's back,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I've so once I've finished, don't know sort of how the timings of this will work out. But assuming that Carl still looks like he's always rolled back in his head, obviously I'll wait till he comes to.
I'll go to Naj, but is he okay? How long has he been?
Well, I mean, he's a bit high, I think. He's had something pretty good tonight, but apart from that, I think he's all right. Yeah.
Good for him.
But I found something.
Well,
yeah.
yes, interesting, very interesting.
You all right? What
Did you see
happened?
anything?
Did you see anything?
I saw the Queen of Blood.
What?
And what did she have to say for herself?
She spoke to one of her knights.
That's what she called herself.
She was that. I knew she was that.
Okay.
Right, all right.
She looked at me.
Was it a
And
good look?
then I could see that she was going to take someone else.
You saw the future.
I saw what I saw. I imagine it is the future. I did say to Yanis that seeing the past was not something that I do.
So there was a queen. Did
I
she
saw
look,
the present in a different way, and I saw possibly the future.
Did she look like anyone you know?
Yeah.
She was the queen.
Like, could you draw her down on a piece of paper?
In 100 ways.
Okay.
Well, that's not helpful. Just draw the way you saw.
And she was going to take someone else.
Yes, they would like it, I think. They would want it.
You sure you're all right, Carl?
Yeah.
You don't sound very with it.
Do you want to sit down?
I feel fine. I feel that we should go and see Teach.
Well, wait a
That's
minute,
why I'm feeling
because
lonely.
because I found stuff out here what don't necessarily tally up with what you've said there.
Wait, so what did you find?
Well, obviously someone came in here and left this. And obviously whoever left it here intended for Mitchell or Ruby or both of them to find it, right? Because if he was just planning on killing the bastard, you wouldn't bother to take the trouble to come near and do it. But there is a trail of sorts in terms of it's clear someone's been in here. But there's nothing on any of the locks or nothing. So only way, as I can see, someone got in here was by using a key. Now, that being the case,
Or a spell. After all, the Tremere were involved in Jonathan's.
Can
well,
they do that?
even
Can
if
they
it's a
spell
spell
open
that makes
doors?
a key, my point is, it's either somebody who lives here, or has lived here, or who knows someone who does, or is close to them. Now, if you saw the So-Say Queen of Blood, she was a girl, presumably, in your vision.
The Queen.
Right.
Right.
Girl is far too little a word for her.
Woman.
But that tells me that might narrow down who we're looking for, right? So I
Perhaps.
reckon, Matty, we got to
Perhaps.
find out who Ruby knows.
I mean,
who-
they're not the kind of people that would just give their keys away to anyone.
No. If I wanted to steal your key out your damn pocket, I could do it, right? Don't mean they have to know they did it, right? We need to know where they've been, or their movements, their whereabouts the last couple of days,
And where all the keys are.
or where the
how many
keys.
copies they have.
Yes.
Do
And who has
either of you realise how straightforward a thing it is to take a copy of a key? I could do it in a couple of minutes.
Not really.
Yes, I understand that, Nangisal, but perhaps one of the keys that Mitchell and Ruby know about was used in the lock, and we should trace the ones that we should trace the obvious keys first, perhaps.
What do you find out when you've talked to neighbours?
Very little. They have an angry neighbour. That's about it. Wasn't particularly fruitful. But I mean, if they came in here, I don't know. The only thing that the neighbours knew is that there was a disturbance last night. They didn't see anything else.
So there was blood. It is blood. I'll point it out to everyone on the underside of the table there, where the egg was left. But whoever cleaned it up didn't do a good job. Like it wasn't very thorough.
Why is there
So-
blood on the underside of the table when the? Well, I thought that.
Well,
the
it
head
also
was on
don't
the
follow
top.
suit, right? If you've taken the trouble to get in here without being noticed, why do a shitty job of tidying up after yourself?
Is it
That might mean
Mitchell's
you left
blood?
in a rush.
Is it Mitchell's blood or the blood of the head?
I will lick the blood.
It is definitely kindred blood.
Okay, I'll say that.
It's very little.
It's all
But it
blood.
could be
Okay.
it could be Brujar blood, or it could be
Yeah.
We don't
Matilda
know.
also knows that that Squid was hurt. So there was a
It's from one of us.
Yeah, it's not
Don't-
necessarily.
But Janusz could probably help us with that, I reckon.
when you stake someone, it makes quite a mess.
Yeah, but I don't think they got staked in here. We don't know, do they?
Well, it could be his
Until we
blood.
find the
He'd know
body.
that, wouldn't he? If he got him back here, he'd know that. Like, or dare I say it, she'd know that.
It seems unlikely they sliced off the head here.
No, I don't think they sliced off the head here either. That's what makes it unusual, right? Because why?
But-
Like, they must have something against either one of them or both of them. Otherwise,
Well,
what's
it's-
the point in bringing it back here?
Yeah.
It's a statement, isn't it?
I don't think
It is
it's
a
any
statement.
coincidence that the
But I don't think they've been picked by chance. Is what I'm saying.
yeah,
No.
they're together and both their sires have been. Oh wait, hang on, it's not Ruby's sire, is it? Well,
Gareth
people in
wasn't Ruby's.
people in
Gareth.
connection to them have been
Right.
staked. So, yeah,
Or let's say Janusz found the body somehow.
yeah.
Or some
hope so.
Me
Clues,
and, me and
of course.
Carl have got to get off to see Teach.
Mm.
Okay,
Looking forward to it.
Keep in
It'll
touch.
be great.
Hi. Well, I got my phone, haven't I? You can text me.
Yeah.
Right.
So Nanj and Carl are off to see Teach, and Matilda eventually. I imagine you would text or call Murray?
Yeah, I'd call Murray and see how
Okay,
that's
when you
going.
call him, you hear some splashing. She's like, "What the fuck are you?"
Where the fuck are you?
Well, I'm close to the Bedminster. Come here. We found the body, but a lot of other people saw it.
How many? Okay, fine. No, it's where. I'll ask him where.
He tells you where.
Okay, fine,
and
just-
you hear some splashing and oh fuck!
Cover. Put it in the water further down.
The call goes off.
Fuck. All right, I'll get in the car.
Okay. You drive towards the place. By the time you get there, there is a few people. You see Murray and other people are taking stuff from the river and putting it into a a pickup truck. But they are also, like, they have a few. You see Murray now, he's half wet. And he has like a high visibility jacket.
Okay.
So Janus will have seen a group of other people arrive as if they were a working crew, and they have been taking the brie, air quotes, and put it in sort of like canvases and stuff like that, and put it in there. And of course, in one of the trips, they're taking the body.
Nice.
But they're also making sort of like cleaning in the sides and the mud to make it a little bit less suspicious.
Okay.
Murray says, "I lost my fucking phone in the river. They saw this. Now I owe a boon to these idiots."
Thank you very much. Did anyone else? Did any mortals see this?
Yes, but they were in the Autarkis side, and
Are they still there?
well, there were a
They
few that were trying to take like a few pictures and stuff. But I think that these guys told me that they would take care of it. And when you turn around, it is a group of Autarkis that that sort of cleaners.
Oh, okay, all right.
But it's like, okay, but now I'm gonna make a major boon to them because they also have to clean people, like evidence that they have taken, and also it had to be done in short notice, and they extorted it out of me, those fuckers.
Thank you for doing what was necessary. I'm sorry you got pulled into this.
Whenever they call for it, I'm calling you to help me out.
Yeah, it's fine. We can figure that out.
Actually, use your contacts. Talk to Hubert so I can register the shit.
Yeah, all right. I'll see what I can do. I might see if we can get it down to a minor.
Okay.
Leave it with me. Where's Janus?
Janus is outside, sorry, up in the upper side, with his dogs, and he's been there trying to keep people away. As in, basically, he's just standing there, and the dogs look funny at anyone who wants to, meander around for a while.
I'm gonna ask. Oh, I'll make to go over to Janusz, but then I'll stop and say, "Where are they going to take the body? Have you told them?"
No, they haven't told me where they're going to take it, but I told them that I needed to know where it was for us to, burial or whatever.
Okay, I'll chat to Janusz and we'll figure out where it should go.
Yeah. Actually, his dogs are the one who found it. I mean, they made a right loud ruckus, but I mean, wouldn't be for the dogs. Do you know if he sells dogs?
If he sells dogs?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a breeder, so probably, yeah. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Do you want one?
I mean, I saw how useful they are.
Any
maybe
particular breed? If I put in a word for you?
Not like the big one. She's too big. But no, maybe like the mini one.
He's pretty attached to her. Mini one. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, say it. And I'll go over to Janusz. And be like, so, well done.
Well, thank you. It was the Duchess that did most of the work.
Okay, I'll give her a bit of a pat.
She licks your hand.
Oh, cute. Murray said that a few people saw.
Yes,
How
yes.
bad are we? How many people are we saying?
Well, it's difficult because on the other side, of course, on the other territory, there were a few, but it's dark and it will not be clear what they've seen.
Okay. All right.
I believe it is in hand.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry, are people, Carlos, are people still around, or have they started to disperse at this point?
No, as soon as the crew got there, people moved out. It looks like either worked by the side of the road. It looks far less interesting than random people trying to do stuff in the side of the road. You know, it looks more ordinary, which, come to think of it, is a very clever way of having like a cleaning crew. They just roadworks or something similar.
Say,
And you saw less than a handful, maybe 2 or 3 people that might have actually had a good look and maybe taken a couple of pictures. But again, as you say, it's dark. And it's not particularly well
Janusz will say to Matilda, I knew that it was not my place to go into the flat at that time, not without the proper permission. You might say I was fortunate, but I would say I was guided. Now, we have found the body, but I think we may have found more than that.
How so?
Well, we are about to find out. Would you care to join me in a prayer?
Yeah, yes, I suppose. Do you just want to hold my hand, or?
No. I want you to come with me to the river.
Okay.
Because the body was by the water, right?
Yes, it was.
So I'm going to go over to the water.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say to Matilda, we were talking about leadership earlier, and you were asking me what I do with the children. And you were talking about having influence. And what we do is not about influence, it is about serving. It is about giving yourself to something greater than yourself. For you are aware that Carl receives visions sometimes.
Yes.
Yes. It is a rare thing for our kind to receive such whispers from the gods. Mortals, of course, sometimes dream, but as you know, our kind do not dream. But some have that gift still in their blood. The Sky Father sees all and sometimes shares that wisdom with those with the right talents and gifts. But he is not the only god. There are others that will have seen things we will have not. So, and it is to Kostroma that we will pray. And we will give, for when dealing with the gods and making prayers, your words, unless you are, like Carl, unable to make them beautiful, flowered things, will not be enough. They must be heartfelt, and they should be accompanied by something of meaning, in our case, a little blood.
Are you asking for a bit of my blood, Janusz?
I'm asking you to give some of your blood to the river, when we ask Kostroma to share with us her wisdom, so we might learn what has happened here. While Carl may not be able to see the past, the gods can.
Is whatever you're going to do, does it have a higher chance of working if it's yours and mine, or can it just work with yours?
It is not so much that I need you to do this, Matilda. It is that I wish to share something with you and perhaps open your mind a little. But I find when petitioning the gods, it is often best. The more of you, the better it is.
Right. I'll try anything once, and then she'll.
I'll hold up a hand. No, do not try it. Do not simply have a go, as the young people are wont to say. Commit to it. If you truly wish to know what happened to this body, commit to it, or do not do it at all. It is your choice.
Fine. To the best of my ability.
That is all the gods ask, Matilda. That is all they ask. So he will begin to pray. Essentially, to ask Kostroma to share her wisdom and what we have seen. He'll probably slip into Polish for a lot of it. But he will nevertheless do things very slowly and clearly. So if Matilda wishes to copy him, she can do so.
She'll sort of maybe like she'll sort of bow her head, close her eyes respectfully, but I don't think she would offer up much more than that.
So, okay, he'll stop and he'll say, go. Stand back. Do not insult them with your half measures.
She'll stand back.
He just means like a pace or so, you know?
Yeah. No. She'll go all the way. She'll go all the way up to the bridge.
So he will do a prayer and he will cut his hand and he will put his blood into the water. Because where the body was, like it was quite close, like touching the water. So that's where he'll put his blood into that place.
This is, I mean, you're cutting yourself and putting your blood in the water.
Yeah.
So I imagine that you're trying to be slightly discreet about this.
Well, I'm doing it obviously if there are loads of people around, then I will wait till later.
Not loads,
but some.
Mm-hmm. So a little bit of, I mean, no, it's not complicated to make it sort of, inconspicuous, but you need to have a little bit of care. I think if you go all out, it might be too much.
All right, I'll call in the Duchess for a bit of cover.
Okay, that's smart. Instead of having a 2 penalty, you'll only have 1.
And I'll crouch because it's down by the river. I'll crouch down by the water itself to do this, rather than standing over it dramatically.
Yeah, exactly. So make your ritual roll and subtract 1 die, given that you can mitigate the penalty.
Sure.
From the ritual.
So, because I'm doing a thing with the gods and I care, I'm going to call upon their divine favor. Brackets rouse the blood.
It's okay. You get a blood surge, so your total modifier turns from -1 to +1.
Okay. So I believe it is occult and stamina.
It's resolve and occult.
Resolve. Okay. Okay.
So
there was a +1 overall, right?
Overall, yes.
Okay, here we go.
Nice.
Oh boy.
That's pretty amazing.
Oh boy. That is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes. Messy. Critical.
Oh my god.
It's a messy critical.
Is it not have I not got 2? Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. Well, sounds great.
Pretty great.
I mean, you do have 9 successes.
Yeah.
But it's a messy critical.
So I'm guessing I'm less subtle than I intended.
Exactly. And
well, you get into the prayers,
Yeah.
Because that you have to do 2 rouse checks. 1 for the actual liquid memories ritual of your colonic sorcery, and 1 for your blood surge.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, the first one passes, and the second one as well.
There you go.
You feel that, like, Matilda, the inordinate amount of blood that he pours into the river. You're starting to see, like, people looking at him and others whispering, and like, it is obvious.
Okay.
Like, he tried to be subtle, but at some point he ran with it. So you try to approach him, maybe to stop him.
Yeah.
Only to see that in the water, the blood that he's been pouring swirls and moves and shows a picture on the running water. And even though the surface is not still and even, it is very clear. The blood draws not an image, but sort of like a footage of the sun and the previous day, and he's rewinding until the previous night or maybe the night before. And he keeps pouring blood, and the more blood he pours, the clearer the image becomes.
I'm gonna I won't stop him, but I'll put a hand on his shoulder.
Of course, Janice is oblivious to this, and
I'll be in it.
when you think it is enough, when you think it's too much and that you need to bolt, and you need to bolt fast, that's when both of you see in the water someone putting the body and rolling it down. And 4K TVs don't have this definition. For it's the face of Caleb putting the body into the water.
Fucking Caleb.
That bloke is trouble.
Like he's dead. Right. Does Janusz sort of awaken?
Of course, now you come back from your reverie, Janice, and you realize this was a lot less subtle than intended.
Okay.
So,
Well, Janusz is not going to be apologetic because Kostroma has been very favourable.
Yeah.
So he will kiss his fingers and touch them to the water one last time and thank her, and then say we should go.
Yeah.
okay.
I'm gonna look around. Does anyone look like they're are we getting back into Masquerade breach territory?
Yes, you are, unless you want to take measures.
Yeah, no, I'll go up and have a chat with whoever I think, whether it be one person or a couple of people, and try to sort of basically say, I think you want to be on your way, and just can I use fucking, I don't know which one it is. Is it cloud memory or is
Cloud
it
memory.
compel?
Cloud
Yeah,
memory makes
I'll cloud their memory, please.
okay. So I believe Matilda and Janice will be doing some damage control.
Yes, please.
Is there anybody who looks like they? Because I assume he's been going for a while. Is there anyone who looks like they have seen too much, or anyone who's trying to run away, or anything crazy like that?
Well, yes. I mean, you will have them all. What I'm saying is, if you two both make damage control, then later on, I will ask you to make a roll each. But you will dedicate the rest of the scenes to this. At least
no problem.
The rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, back on the Hippodrome. You are walking around. In front of the Hippodrome, there is this sort of area that has these fountains that I always forget the name of. It's really nice. And when you walk towards Harborside, there are some steps and there are some boats.
As we walk past the Hippodrome, I say to Nanjazal, apparently I've spent an awful lot of money in there. I have no recollection of that.
What? You don't go in there. He goes in the VIP.
I know. Strange.
Wait, what is that? Huh? You said you spent. How do you know that you spent money in there?
My sister told me.
What?
I don't mind.
What? Wedding dinner? It's not an issue with the money. It's an issue of who's setting you up for what, Carl?
It is, exactly. And Christine says she has it in hand. She is following the money.
All right, well, let me know if there's anything I can do to help.
I thought I'd just bring it up because, well, things aren't bothering me so much at the moment, but normally that does.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Me too. Let's go and see Tichi.
Let's do that.
Let's be
Carlos, can you remind me, because I'm under a compulsion?
Mm-hmm.
I've got some negatives or something to dice roll.
Don't worry, I've been taking those into account.
Okay.
You still have your transgression compulsion.
Yeah, well, I haven't been able to get Mitch uncorrupted yet, have I? So.
Yeah. At some point, you will be able to get rid of that compulsion. You just have to either break your own, either gain stains yourself or make somebody else gain them.
I mean, somebody else sounds like the best option, doesn't it?
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, but yes, I have been taking that into consideration for your rolls.
Fine.
Don't worry about it. The things that you have like a stupid larceny and your numbers are really high for those
Yeah,
checks.
but they're not really high in social, which is what I'm just going into.
Oh well, good luck with that. I mean,
Yes, quite.
now you're not like everything is okay until you see who is the person whose little boat you have to ride all the way to Avonmouth.
Oh.
Hello, Nanjasel. Carl, I hope the night finds you well.
It does.
Says
Exceptionally.
the best minister of the city, according to his own recollection. For those of you who have watched the 2008 Blood on the Severn, this is a character that Peter portrayed. A lovely minister.
That's one word.
Sorry?
That's one word.
Yeah, lovely is one.
Yeah.
How joyful to take you tonight.
Or moving.
Everything is lovely.
I'm glad to hear it.
Care to step into my boat?
You fucking wish, mate.
Yes. I long for the
Oh,
lapping
climb
of
into
the
the boat.
waves.
Yeah.
You see, Carl knows a good boat when he sees one. Don't you, Carl?
She is indeed Yar.
Are you two talking about a boat or it's cock? I can't tell.
Oh, come on, Nanjasel.
Cock?
Let old Reuben take you up.
I'm not letting you take me nowhere. Or, anyway.
You want me to
Just-
tell Teach that you're not going to the meeting
No,
with
I
him?
want you to drive us up the bloody river, don't I?
Well, I was instructed to take you to him.
All right, let's do it then.
I will walk up the gangplank. I imagine there is one.
There's one.
And then just walk around the edge of the boat.
He's one of those slightly small ferry boats that are used to move people around the harbor and the harbor side. He's not the big ones that they use for a booze cruise. It's more for it's a smaller boat that allows for a smaller group of people. Yes, it has a little roofie and stuff for having some drinks in the summer. But you are quite certain Ruben is not doing the piloting of the boat during the daylight hours.
Well, I'll go up to the prow
Mm-hmm.
and use it because I've got that celerity thing where I can keep my balance. I'm just gonna stand with my feet like right on the top, on the edge.
Okay.
Just looking out to see where we're going.
I'm going to slump into whatever is the seat that's furthest away from Ruben.
In the back. Yeah. Like, okay. In the middle. In the back. He is in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll probably be up with me going, what the hell?
Like as close to the prow as possible.
I mean, in a contest between spending time with Carl and spending time with Ruben, Carl wins every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yes, that is the way to put it.
Yeah. So
I realise that I shouldn't be doing this when Nan Giselle gets close to me, and I'll reluctantly step down and just keep looking. But in a less breachy of the Masquerade way, I'll just stand on the deck of the boat at the front and just
I'll say
look at.
I'll say, you Leonardo DiCaprio, are you?
Well, he has his talents, does he not?
I mean, so I'm told.
Mm.
Standing on the front of boats.
Standing on the front of boats. Yes, that's true. I did that. It was enjoyable.
It seemed it was. And you know what? You're more impressive than Ruben in every respect. So, thanks for the
Thank you very much for that rather low bar compliment.
I will. Yeah. Ruben says, I will ignore those comments. But
oh, you're here, Ruben. I thought you were piloting the boat up the back.
Hold on tight. Yes. And the boat drives off hard, of course.
I don't move my feet.
Yeah, your cat-like balance.
I
stay completely balanced. Nan's probably goes, but I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, your cat's graze, basically.
I
yeah.
fall over them.
Keeps you standing. Actually, you quite deftly walk towards Nangisel to avoid her being like splashed
Yeah, I
as you
probably can
leave.
just put my arm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to look back at Ruben and look annoyed.
Can I get a roll from the both of you? It would be wits plus awareness. Carl, you get to add your auspics to this roll, and I will roll for it and Giselle with a penalty, of course.
Woo!
Okay, 3 successes each, which I think is quite enough. Okay. Nangisel initially sees, like, you're going on the boat, close, of course, to the sides of the banks, as Ruben maneuvers, and once you clear sort of after picture and piano in that area, you clear and turn because you're going on your way to the end of Spike Island and going in front of the SS Great Britain. But this is still it's still the city.
Yep.
You see someone eyeing you, as in eyeing your boat, and
They're on shore.
sorry,
On
the shore, like they are seeing your boat, and you make nothing of it until you see them further ahead on a bridge.
Same person.
Yes, and that's when you call Carl's attention. Now, Carl, can you make me an intelligence plus intelligence roll, which is a totally valid thing when you're trying to remember things.
Intelligence plus intelligence.
Yeah, just go to intelligence and then roll with a secondary intelligence as well, because you're trying to remember.
Okay. And there's no war specs in here. It's just intelligence.
And no, this is pure intelligence. This is just your memory.
Okay. Well, I might want to rouse the blood here then.
Yes, do a blood search. Add your 2 dice for your blood search bonus.
Okay. 1 success. I think I'll use a willpower then.
You can do a willpower reroll, because you're gonna need not many more, but more.
Yes. Okay. Oh, that's not way. Well, that's quite a lot more.
That is a lot more. Now okay. He is a little far away, but with your auspics, you can zone into his face. He's the man who burned you with holy water a few years ago.
That's the burner, Nangisal.
What? Is that bloke?
That's the man who burnt my face.
How far away are we from him by distance?
Not too far away. You see a small pier ahead where if Ruben stops, you could try and find and chase him down, unless he has like a car or a motorcycle or a bicycle that he can get away. You don't see any of that.
I'll say wait, Ruben,
Yes.
some bastards eyeing your boat.
We'd like to talk to them.
I'll nod over the direction. I'll say, now, I don't want to be late, see and teach,
And I don't want to be lady taking you.
but I do want to know who that bastard is. Any chance you could get us over that way? For a pit stop?
That could get me in a lot of trouble, Nangisel, and I don't like trouble unless they come with benefits attached.
Yeah, well, what's your benefit? Name it.
A minor boon.
Because there's a negotiation to have here, isn't there?
A minor boon from you. I mean, even if I...
All right, son. Get over there.
Carl, you're a witness.
You don't need a fucking witness.
Well,
You can trust
Nanjisal's a word is her bond.
Yeah. Fuck it is, right? Unless you're questioning it.
No, I would never.
You should know her reputation.
So
She speaks the truth, and those who doubt her don't do too well.
I understand. So you want to catch that man, right?
We'd
Right,
like
and I want
catch
to be
that
on
man.
point to teach.
And I would say that the minor boon is probably dependent on us actually catching that man. So please, let us catch that man.
Fine, very well. But then I will ask you to keep an eye on my boat. He very slowly puts the boat to a side before you reach the pier. And he manages to stop it on a side of the bank. And you know those sides that have those iron sort of step laddery thingies for maintenance and stuff? And he actually uses one of those. And tells you, well, this is the fastest way. And he just climbs very deftly and starts walking towards the man.
Has the guy seen us? Has he seen it?
Well, Ruben had to sort of take you slightly to port, that is the left for those that are nautically impaired, to the port side, which puts you under the tall bank because you have the construction.
Yep.
But by the time Ruben is already up and you're starting to climb up, you can see the man has gone into one of the bridges, so he's able to see because he's in the same bank and couldn't see you because of the angle.
Okay.
And when he realizes what is happening, he starts running. But by then, Ruben is already behind him.
Okay, well, I'm making my best pace to Ruben.
Yeah, I'll do the same. Once I see that he's got him, I'll go up as well because I was trying to decoy him so that he'd see us.
Yeah,
on the boat.
Ruben is on him, as in onto him, and a chase ensues. So can I have a? Oh, okay. So I'll do
I'll chase as well, I guess. Not that much use of chasing, but
I'll do a check for Nangisel.
Thanks.
Okay. It is going to be, of course, a wits plus streetwise, so you know which way is the fastest to intercept him.
Yes.
Do you wish to rouse for this check to?
Yes.
Cancel the penalties of your compulsion.
Yep.
Oh, I needed to rouse. I need to roll your rouse checks. Both of you need to roll your rouse checks for your blood surges.
Oh,
yes. I am hungrier.
Okay, Nangisel, so far you have only 2 successes and plenty of willpower. Okay. Also, your hunger goes up to 2.
Yep. Okay.
But you can reroll up to your 3 dice.
Yep.
Okay, 3 would be enough.
The chase is what? The chase is...
in your case, it would be dexterity plus athletics.
Okay.
If any. If you have celerity, deftness, yes.
1 point.
Yeah.
Okay. So, dexterity. Well, I'm not much good at it, but I'll roll.
Yeah, but it's enough. Between the 3 of you, you might be able to pincer. What we need is an extra success for the cumulative. And I have no compunction in saying it because, if you don't get it, then you can succeed at a cost. Oh my god, you got it.
I got a success.
Yes.
Which is all we needed.
Yes, that is annoying because I wanted to make you succeed at a cost, which is amazing because it's very Masquerade breachy. You managed to intercept the guy.
No. Oh, I got a 10 as well. So
yeah. So what happens is that Carl manages to get, he runs and he's fit enough to keep up with this man. And Nangisel tells him, sort of waves in the direction he needs to run. And true enough, Carl himself Carl finds himself coming into a street that the moment he turns left to see what's around the corner is the guy that when he sees Carl and has behind him Reuben Houghton pursued, he turns to his left only to be tackled by Nan Giselle, who puts him into the ground with just extending her arm and sort of like knocking him down.
I'll just pin him there.
Okay.
There, right?
Carl's, although Carl's blood is sanguine at the moment, the memory of being burnt by this man and the image of this face laughing at him and then being shocked and surprised by what he's done to the person in front of him, which is what I saw on this face, through the pain, through the redness of the pain of this visceral burn, means that I will stare at him.
Okay.
And I will say to him, "You burnt me. You burnt my face." And I will use Daunt to...
Oh my god.
Because I'm nearly frenzying here.
Well,
Seeing
actually,
the person who burnt me.
yes. I would say...
Hooray! I paid a minor boot to be near a frenzy.
Fury
Woo!
frenzy.
I would say that your resonance being sanguine has remained sanguine, but instead of you being high on life, you're now on a manic high, as in exacerbated. And I believe, given what you're describing, if you would be happy to make a fury frenzy
I'm playing
check.
a character.
Yes,
That's no problem.
So make a frenzy check. Just go to the bottom of the page, click on the frenzy button, put your current, your current willpower, yes, which I believe
at
the
the beginning of the last episode,
you were full. Starting this session, you're full of willpower.
Because my desire was to get closer to the Autarkis, and
you went with Teach, yeah,
and I was with Teach, so yeah. So I'm down to.
You have spent only the one.
I spent one.
So
yeah, willpower 5. Here we go.
And
and then it says humanity.
You put 7, which is your full humanity, because the higher your humanity, the more dice you have to resist frenzy. Don't forget that, kids.
Okay. And then it says modifier 0.
And no other modifiers. And that is exactly what you needed. But it takes you a moment or two. It's like you burn my face. And you see it, man. Yourself. He's about to lose his shit on this man. Yes, you probably never...
Even I noticed this.
You have never seen Carl on the verge of losing himself to the beast due to anger like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reuben actually is standing a few meters away from you, looking someone straight in the eye and saying, yes, keep looking at me. Come closer. Give me your hand. And you know that he has these weird yellow eyes, slitted like a snake. And he's using that to remove any witnesses from the moment.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Because Carl's on the edge here, right? Do I think if I pushed him, I could force him to break his conviction?
Well, I mean, if he
I'm under compulsion, right?
yes, if you, it would be hard because Carl's convictions are around art. But if you push him hard enough, and he loses his shit and damages or kills this man, he can easily gain stains because he would be under the fury frenzy.
Yeah, because I suppose to be clear, this is a compulsion in the truest sense, right? Something I'm driven to do.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. Okay. In which case, since Carl is on the verge of losing it, I think that I will hold the guy, like up in front of him, And I'll say, Carl, it seems to me you should do the right thing. Think about what this guy did to you. Think about
Yes,
everything
I
suffered.
need to find out who sent him. Yes, and that's the information we need.
Well, he's right here. Should beat it out of him.
I'm not touching him until he tells me who made him throw that at me. And as I say, I'm using Daunt.
Yes,
and I'm
so
staring
please,
directly at the person,
please
intimidating him.
do a manipulation plus intimidation roll, and you add your presence to the total as bonus intimidate dice.
Okay. So, intimidation, manipulation, plus intimidation. Okay, yeah, that's right. So then I get...
I rolled for the poor guy.
I get 8. It looks
Oh
like.
my fucking
Wow.
god. Actually, no. That is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 successes, critical win.
Wow.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I don't think I'm going to use a willpower anyway.
I don't think you have. No. Well, you do have the dice that didn't, non-hunger dice that came up with successes, but
Okay.
my sweet Jesus, did you rouse the blood for this roll?
No. I just used...
yes. You have a massive bonus from your presence.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I just rolled successes pretty much. So that's
10 successes is enough to bulldoze through this man willpower, burn it like hell, and give him enough aggravated willpower damage to last a lifetime.
Well, we can drive him to the mental health facility when we finished with him, I suppose. So.
We've got to go and go to teach.
No.
He holds his hands and he goes pale. And he knows better than to lose himself screaming. He pees himself. And he says, No one sent me. No one sent me. I thought it wouldn't work. I thought the holy water wouldn't work. But now the others know.
Who are the others? Tell me who these others are.
They have held me. They are from the church. They know that you're not supposed to be. That you're a monster. I thought you were a predator, a sexual predator, but you're worse. They will get you. They will. And he starts praying, and he's shaking, and you can see him twitching.
And I say, and Nanjazal said that to me, and my blood's up.
Yeah.
And I say to her, yes, Nanjazal, you are right. This is a pathetic individual who has caused me great pain. I just hold his head and I say, you have no right to do that to me, you pathetic mortal. And I'll just snap his neck.
Okay. And as a result of that, you will gain stains. Do you have any? Do you have also, Nanjasel? You remove your compulsion.
I knew I wanted to go to teach.
You no longer need to do transgression.
I'll look at Reuben and I'll say, we need to dispose of this.
Reuben actually smiles and looks at Nanjasel and says, oh, I will do that for free. And he winks at you.
My skin crawls, even though it's dead.
Yeah.
So do you have any convictions that can mitigate the killing? Sorry?
It was artistic to some extent. But,
It wasn't artistic.
I doubt that you can black that one.
I don't have any convictions like that.
Okay, so you're
I
gonna.
fully expect to lose the humanity here. That's what I'm.
Well,
expecting.
you're gonna gain 2 stains, which means at the
Yeah.
end of the session you're gonna roll the one die, and if you do not have a success, you will drop in humanity.
Yeah,
But
that was what
the minimum in that number of dice you're gonna roll is 1. But you do gain 2 stains for breaking the guy's neck. Because I mean, you should not
Murder.
kill the innocent.
Wow.
You know, remember Chronicle Tenant. You know, important one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But innocent is pretty moot here, I think.
Yeah, I
Agree.
mean, from Carl's perspective, yes. But this is a mortal, a very religious
Hey,
one.
hey,
Well,
He's
Carl,
a very religious
Carl,
mortal who
Carl,
also.
he's not
who
going to throw
also-
holy water in your face again, and that's the thing.
he's guilty of harming me.
Yes, I will reassure Carl that he's done the right thing.
and we will see how that pans out. But
Yeah.
yes,
I mean, as I say, I'm not kind of squirming and going, oh no, please don't take a willpower away from me, Mr.
no.
Storyteller." I'm expected to lose a willpower.
Yeah,
I just
the humanity.
it's wrong and awful.
But I think it's very appropriate. So let's see how that remorse check roll goes. Ruben has finished. He fed briefly from the person he had sort of mesmerized, enchanted with the eyes of the serpent.
Yep.
And that gives enough of a haze, the haze of the kiss. So the person is sent on their way, and they're very docile, and they just follow those instructions. And once he approaches you to see, like, help me put him to the side, Nangisel, so I can come pick him up later.
Oh yeah, I'm giving him a hand.
So once you're in the small alley, putting him, covering him, he says, I knew our blood was strong in you. You just freed him from his chains. He got the retribution he deserved.
Too right. Looked to me, or sounded to me like he needed to get in touch with that anger of his. Oh man.
You should come sometimes to our church, Nangisel. What you're feeling and you're thinking, it is exactly what we predicate. We're not lunatics revering an ancient god of Egypt or whatever. We're not. We're liberators. We're the chain breakers. What you did just now, that was all the encouragement he needed to free himself from that chain. He needed that. He needed to get in touch with his anger. He needs to understand both his virtues and his vices. For in that lies the true knowledge of the self. Some might call it enlightenment. But
Some might call it that.
I will make sure that we have a space to chat. For you are a minister. And our belief lives in your blood. I have seen its work tonight.
Seems to me then I already got the bases covered, don't I? What's the need to turn up to the church if I can already do what you're saying I should be doing?
Guess you like guidance, Nangisel.
I don't think I lack guidance. I think I know exactly where I'm going.
Where Ashimitsi tells you.
You don't got the first idea how things are
I
between me and him.
I can see you. Just as you could see through Carl, I could see the chains that bind you. And that is one that needs to be broken. But let's have that conversation at some other point. I need to take you somewhere, and there's a body to dispose of. Shall we?
All right,
After you.
let's get there.
And with the knowledge of having the vindication, the revenge that has been sought. But also that something in the back of your mind saying, who are these others really? Carl walks, and he feels somewhat alive right now. Now, whether this sensation is a different manic high of joy and release, catharsis, you can say, or if we will plummet into the depths of melancholy, will be decided by his remorse roll, because that is where we're drawing the session to a close. So if you could please, Josh, go to your remorse roll.
Yes.
And of course, your remorse die is 1. And for those of you in chat who believe that he should not lose humanity, start crossing your fingers now.
Well, I don't know. Okay. In a way, I would like to intentionally fail this. I don't know if I can. I'll roll it. I'll roll it.
No, you can.
Here you go.
You can. You definitely can intentionally
I feel that the combination of seeing this man and suddenly all that hatred and pain flooding back, linked with Nanjazal's prodding in her Setite way, means that I feel nothing but more alive for having done it.
Yes.
I feel vindicated, and I feel like it was a good decision. There's nothing wrong with what I've done.
There's no remorse.
I'm going down to humanity 6 right here.
Yes. And with the loss of humanity, now that this also plays an important role, because next session, when you're talking to Teach, you will be your usual self. Had you passed the remorse check, you would have felt bad for what you have done, and that could have totally painted the conversation with Teach in a totally different way. But now, you are yourself. I still feel
my sanguine blood is still singing to me that I've done the right thing.
And you feel you're right now on your high horse. So
and absolutely, and the other thing is, of course, that I'm just thinking this now, but if I had passed my remorse check, then I would have realized what Nanjazal had done. But
yes, which is kind of
But now I feel that Nanjazal had my best interests at heart.
Yes,
that she was on my side and she was helping.
Exactly
in a very Setite way. So
absolutely.
You know what you should do, Carl? You should come and join the cult.
I should come and join I'm more likely to join the Setite
Church of Set. I mean,
I'm more likely.
Ruben was right there.
No. I'm more likely to join the church with these people who want to kill me than the cult. I mean.
Okay, that church. Okay, well, until we figure out which church is Carl joining, if any. This is going to be all from us. We're going to have to say that we love you and leave you. Thank you very much to our players. Thank you again to our wonderful, mysterious benefactor for that lovely, that way facing the door. And join us next week for episode 3 of season 2 of Blood on the Severn. Until then, sleep tight. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Sleep.